So hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to my channel. My name is Najla and today I wanted to talk to you about the habits that I have done personally that helped me a lot in life, and I wanted to share the benefit with you because we're all one community. And let's get started. Okay, so the first one might be a bit too obvious, but waking up early and not sleeping after Fajr is like the biggest thing, the best thing that you can do for yourself. Like, at least for me, it is my cheat code. If I wanna achieve a goal, a certain goal, or I wanna like have a steady life and have a better performance in what I'm doing currently in life. So that's one, let's talk about it. So you somehow managed to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and didn't get back to sleep. You're gonna be like, okay, so what am I gonna do now? I'm sure most of you have a certain goal in your life, whether it's about your career or your academic life, or that like some house chores that you should be keeping up with, or taking care of your children. We all have our goals in life. If you don't have a goal, then that's might be a bigger problem, because as Muslims, we should be finding meaning in everything. We should have a pursuit in life that we're walking through, whether it's like, as I said, about your career, about your children, about your family, about anything that you're pursuing in life, because it's not just about akhirah. If we only focus about akhirah, then it will be as if we dismissed a big part of our humanity, because we're not angels and we have a humanitarian part. We have a body to take care of, or we have feelings that we should be taking care of. So if you don't have a task to do throughout your day, I think that could be the first problem that you should be solving in life. However, let's say you have a task, you have a problem you want to solve, or you have a goal in life that you want to achieve. What is it that keeps you awake at 5 a.m. that you can't do at noon or at 2 p.m. afternoon, right? One of the reasons why you should be awake at 5 a.m. is our Prophet's supplication towards us, like when he prayed to God in order for him to give us barakah in the morning. So everything you do in the morning hours actually has more barakah than the other hours of the day. What does barakah mean? Like, it means you're doing the same thing but gaining more benefit from it, or it is somehow easier for you. Like, it is more I don't know, doable for you. So that's one reason for you to be doing it early in the morning. Also, neurologically speaking, your brain is like a sponge. When you first wake up, whatever you feed it is going to maintain throughout the day. Like, if the first thing you do when you wake up is to scroll through social media and consume that dopamine, your brain is gonna start for dopamine throughout the day, and it's just not gonna be your day, or you're not gonna be well focused on the things that you're gonna do. So especially for me, like personally speaking, when I was memorizing Quran in high school, it took me about 10 to 15 hours to memorize one page. However, when I was trying to memorize it at night, it took me more than 30 minutes. So it is definitely a time where your brain is the most awake, or is the most hungry for information, or is the more creative. Therefore, it is a very, very good thing, or a very, very important thing for you to take advantage of that. Okay, so the second habit that I think every Muslim should have in his or her life is the habit of reading, because it was literally the first order that was given to our Prophet. It was the first word that was revealed to us via Quran from our God, is like, read, iqra. We have to read. We can't, like, being ignorant and being Muslim cannot coexist. We have to be reading, we have to be educated, we have to be well spoken. That's how we conquered so many countries. That's how we managed to invent so many things. That, like, we invented university. The first university that ever existed in history was built by a woman who was a Muslimah. So let's continue on that legacy. Let's give it its place, let's give it enough importance, let's educate our kids about this, because like, if you're ignorant, then like, you are prone to so many heart diseases, so many mental diseases, like especially in these days where everything is a trap of shaitan. What I witnessed from the community I am in, at least, is a lack of context, lack of knowledge. They're doing something but they don't even know that that's wrong, if you get me. I mean, I'm not perfect myself as well, but at least we should be aware of the simple needs of Islam, the simple regulations that we should be following, the simple discriminations between us, like between belief and disbelief. We should at least be aware of that. And I don't think that our education should be just limited to Islamic education. We also should be educated in the scientific fields of life. Therefore, we should be reading a lot, we should be educated enough. And it doesn't have to be like in the form of reading itself. We can be listening to podcasts, we can be attending halakas, we can do so many things. We can, like, I don't know, read about tafsirs in our lunch breaks. We can just read 10 pages of day before we go back to sleep. There are so many things that we could do to educate ourselves. Like, we don't have to be like fuqaha, like students of knowledge in a perfect manner. We just have to be on that path constantly. Even if we're 40, even if we're 50, even if we're 60, it never ends. Even if you have achieved a great level of knowledge, us humans, we forget and we tend to need a remembrance. That's why we pray 5 times a day, right? Because we have to constantly remind ourselves that we are slaves of God, that we have to be walking on the straight path, Sirat al-Mustaqim. So read and remember and don't forget. And yeah. The third value or the habit that I want to address is not overthinking, which will come as a result of, if you guess it right, tawakkul. Tawakkul is this one very, very huge gift that was given to us by God, by Allah, because what would I have done, or what would have we done without tawakkul? It is one thing that us Muslims have to be very thankful for, because we have this in our religion. It is something, it definitely is a very deep word. You have to comprehend it well, and in order for you to comprehend this word, you have to know a background. You have to know who your creator is, what his characteristics are. For example, you have to know that God is the all provider. You have to know that God is the all seeing. He is the all protector. He has these characteristics that will, you have to believe fully in these characteristics, and they will eventually end up giving you the tawakkul that you want in your life. I believe that tawakkul is the art of acceptance, that nothing is actually in your hands. As for us humans, we sometimes blame ourselves for not being good enough or not having done the right thing, but if you did what you had in your capacity, if you worked hard for it and it still didn't happen, it was definitely not your destiny. Allah didn't want that for you. You did your part, and you can actually have a very good night's sleep. You're content, your heart is content, and you don't have any regrets that you have in your life, because you can't earn whatever you want, and God is the all-knowing of what is the best for us. I believe tawakkul has these two sides, of trusting Allah. One of them being trusting Allah with your future, that He's gonna do the best thing for you, and you put all your trust in Him. And the second part is trusting Him for your past. What has happened to you for a reason. It was for your best. You have learned something. It didn't happen in order for Allah to punish you. Maybe it was a punishment, but even if it was a punishment, maybe it was a reason for you to go back to Allah, a reason for you to find your path once again. Also, there's this one supplication that you say every day and every night for 7 days, which is حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم كفاه الله ما أهمه من أمر الدنيا والآخرة. Allah will take away whatever you might have concerns about in this life and in the akhirah. So this is the perfect dua, the perfect supplication for you to put all your trust in Allah, that He is going to make everything perfect for you. Everything is going to be not to your likings exactly, but everything to your good at least. So if you recite this supplication every day with a present mind and a present heart, being fully aware that you are actually doing something for Allah or expecting something from Allah, your creator, then it might be a way for you to have a better tawakkul in Allah. Okay, so my first habit will be based on this hadith, which is قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من حسن إسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعنيه, which means basically mind your own business. I think this is a habit that will actually not just benefit you but benefit the community. I mean, obviously we should be looking out for each other, we should be knowing each other's needs, we should help whoever wants need, we should be aware of our community, but that does not mean that we should get involved in everything that they're doing, or think that we have the right to say anything that they're doing. Because first of all, when you're too coincided with the community that you're in, first problem that you might face when you don't put boundaries between you and the people that you're involved with in the community is an unhealthy comparison between you and them. I mean, sure, it is something good to look out for the people with their good habits, with their ibadas. It is actually something that is beloved in our religion, to raise in ibadas. Sahabas used to do that. However, it should be in a healthy manner. You should know your boundaries. You should know where to stop and what not to compare yourself with. For example, you shouldn't feel bad because that person goes to Umrah every year but you sometimes prefer to go for a family vacation, or that person stays up awake 2 hours at night but you don't get to do that because you're working and you feel bad about it. That's probably a result an unhealthy thing. This is one side of comparison, but there is also another side where you look up to them and you look out for their mistakes and be like, oh, I'm better than them, or you are too occupied with seeing other people's mistakes that you slowly start to become blind on your mistakes, which is a bigger problem in my opinion, because that's not tark mala. Yani you have to occupy yourself with yourself in order for you to have a clear reflection on yourself, or in order for you to race with yourself, because you have your own pace and they have their own pace, and they might be looking better than you religiously, they might be performing more ibadas visually, however you don't know their heart. Maybe their heart is committing big sins and your heart is actually more clear than them, although you just do the obligatory prayers, etc. So that is one thing to look out for. Okay, so these are it for the habits that I wanted to share with you that have helped me personally build a better version of myself, or build a better state of iman in my life. The paces might vary from person to person, or the things that have helped me might not help you, or they may help you even more. Therefore, I would be more than happy though even if one of you benefited from this video, and see you in my next video.